4-3-3. Trevor, no Ali Montoya. She'll miss another match, but they have plenty of weapons up top.
Yeah, look at Eleanor Klinger up there. Very dependable asset, can really make plays up there. She's taking the spot of Charlotte Kohler, who is also dangerous up the wing.
And for Florida State, it's a Noles team with those incredible uniforms here on a paint it pink kind of night in a 3-5-2. What stands out about the way Florida State wants to play?
Well, it's about their wingbacks, right? They can make themselves a defensive shape if they want to, but they like getting numbers forward. So watch out for the likes of Sophia Wynn and Taylor Suarez, who had 2 goals last week against Notre Dame. She could have a big impact in the game.
Brian Pensky, who has done a phenomenal job here in Tallahassee, now in his 4th season, the only active head coach to have won ACC, SEC, and National Coach of the Year honors. He told us before today's match, he said, it's a Florida State team that we feel like we perform better at Notre Dame than the result indicated. We just got to finish our goals. It's another opportunity here for a huge RPI victory.
I honestly thought, Aria, they had probably their best 35-40 minute start of the entire season against the Irish. Got out to a 2-0 lead, but a couple of defensive miscues happening in the end of the first half and throughout the course of the second led to a 4-2 defeat, their first loss of the season. Now they welcome in a very dangerous and well-pedigreed Stanford team coming off a win over the #1 ranked team in the country.
Couple notes for Florida State's lineup. Mimi Van Zanten actually starting in the 6th. Taylor Suarez also in the lineup for Florida State. That's been consistent to their last game against Notre Dame as well. We are underway here in Tallahassee. Florida State in the white uniforms, Stanford in the black. And the Cardinal 11-1-1 on the year, 5-0-1 in the ACC. They're second in the conference. Florida State is 3rd. The Noles, 7th ranked in the country, 8-1-2, 4-1-1 in the ACC. Perfect at home, riding an unbeaten streak in Tallahassee, dating back 33 games. Thursday nights was different for Florida State. They haven't played in almost a week now. A week exactly since dropping 4-2 at Notre Dame in South Bend. It's the 2nd consecutive #2 ranked team the Noles are playing. Now Notre Dame is at #1, and that's because Stanford on Sunday beat Virginia 2-1, who was the top ranked team in the country. So the Cardinal making a case as one of the best in college soccer again this season. Stanford, of course, back-to-back college cups, a veteran lineup that has a little bit of experience as well, in a Florida State team who won the national title in 2023 against these very Cardinal on a 5-1 victory on that night.
Klinger looking to cross over into the box. Kohler fell down. Might be a little slippery turf right now. No, not exactly sure, but this is a program here, Aria, with Stanford that is the #1 team in the country when it comes to offense, and they lead in a multitude of offensive categories. Talk about shots on goal per game, shots overall, goals per game, assists per game. You basically rattle off any statistical category offensively, and the Cardinal are leading the pack.
Paul Radcliffe has done it for 23 years in Palo Alto. 3-time National Coach of the Year. Earlier this year got win number 400 on his career against Boston College in a 2-0 victory for the Cardinal. He joked with us before. He said, I've learned how to just enjoy the talent on my team a little bit more as my career has waned on. He said, early on I was so locked in, trying to move on to the next moment. His cross into the box, cleared out. Wama, touch forward, recovers as Simmons takes the ball.
That's a beautiful dispossession by Simmons, and then shoves Boama right back down to the grass. Florida State showing the physicality right now and playing more on their back heels a little bit. And you had to anticipate that if you're Brian Pensky. You're not going to dominate the ball perhaps, and both sides. They really love possession. They love dominating the ball and being on their front foot all the time. This is going to be a much more balanced game, you have to assume, going in. And both teams are going to have their defenses tested.
Foul in the midfield. Trevor, what do you want to see from these two teams as they look for 3 points here in a critical October? Is that ball Sent forward, Dudley can fly. Can she get on the end of it? Yes, she can. First time cross. My goodness, Dudley was moving. Racing over 23 Freer. Lily Freer, the freshman who's been outstanding so far this year. That press from the Noles. Mimi Van Zanten, who's been playing the number 6 center defensive mid holding spot for Florida State over the last few matches. There's the middle of your screen, 17 out to win. Now Washington. Neither team concedes a ton of goals this year. Stanford only 8 goals allowed. Florida State leads the ACC with only 6 goals conceded.
And that was only 2 just a game ago going into the Notre Dame game. And I think, Ari, you asked, what I would like to see. I think for Florida State, you have to dominate the midfield. You have to start turning things over, high press, challenge Stanford's back line. Dispossession right here by Soleil Washington being a great example.
Dudley through ball. Oh, great clearance.
And really just insert yourself by cutting off Stanford's connectivity and their passing. Their passing is so good. I think it's probably the most underappreciated aspect of Stanford's game because of how good quality scoring they put on and how many shots they put up per game. You have to get there somehow, and that's through passing. And I think if Florida State can disrupt that a little bit, that's good, and then finish your chances. They've had so many shots this year, but the goal total, I think, even for Florida State standards, as good as it is a little bit subpar.
Van Zanten towards that frame. Freshman keeper in net, Caroline Burkle from St. Louis, Missouri, taking over for Haley Craig, who was outstanding for the Cardinal on their run to a College Cup last season. There's Burkle on your screen. Started all 13 games on the year. Was a part of that USA U20 bronze medal team from 1 year ago in the World Cup. Teammates with a number of Noles as well. And that was something both head coaches acknowledged. A lot of familiarity between the two. Here comes Harvey up the pitch. She's got some space, carrying forward. Cardinal into the attack. Ike, gotta watch her. Dumps it back, shot on, and the Cardinal lead. Kitahata gives Stanford the lead on the road.
Transition offense worked beautifully for the Cardinal. All started with a centering pass right over to Shea Harvey, and you touched on it, Aria. She had so much room to operate, and as Florida State collapsed toward her, passed it off to Ike, and then just facilitates it right back off to Kitahata. You cannot forget about this young woman, the senior out of Hillsborough, California. She is so good on the ball, and she is so precise at the same time. 8th goal of the season for a reason. There are weapons all over the map for Stanford, and Kitahata is one of the best on this roster.
The captain with her 30th career goal, who turned down NWSL and European offers in the spring to come back to Palo Alto. She said, I got unfinished business. This team has made back-to-back College Cups. I won a national title. And Stanford with a statement goal early here in Tallahassee. How does that goal change things, Trevor, for both teams?
Well, actually, and I was about to say, getting to some of the keys for Stanford, controlling the chaos. One of the great ways of doing that is trying to take the crowd out by scoring and being on your front foot. And Stanford has control. They have the pace. And you have to offset FSU's chaos in terms of what they present. It's a good save by Addie Todd off the cross by disrupting FSU's flow and not letting Florida State have time with the ball. And Stanford has come out of the gates really strong, winning ball possession and getting up the pitch, and getting into the final third quickly.
Florida State team who now has conceded 7 times on the year and 5 times in the last match in a few minutes. They had given up just 2 goals going in to the contest against Notre Dame. They gave up 4. Here's Washington. Then the 18 trying to outmaneuver a quartet. Now Dudley. Meg puts it on frame. It's blocked.
Another captain, Elise Evans, coming there, saving the day. Keeping Burkle from having to do too much work. That's good pursuit and a good response by the Seminoles off the goal as Dudley's a little slow getting back up. Has to wait for this ball to settle a little bit to try and control. Does get a decent shot off, but Stanford right back there in numbers. Trying to get past Lily Freer, Sophie Murdoch as well back there. This is a really good back line for Stanford. A little young, but plenty of experience nonetheless.
Number 9, Taylor Suarez on the cross towards that back post. It will clear out harmlessly there. Suarez, who had a pair of goals against the Irish on Thursday night in South Bend. Brian Penske telling us the confidence level in which she's playing, hoping it could be somewhat of a breakout party for a player that's been outstanding for FSU since she arrived her freshman season.
Just of note on that, you know, Taylor Suarez started off this year with a text to head coach Brian Penske and associate head coach Bobby Shuttleworth saying, hold me to a higher standard and hold me to what I'm capable of, and then as a way of getting her to grow more into a more dominant player. And she always has the capability of impacting the game throughout, and she did that right out of the gate against Notre Dame last Thursday. Just has so much speed and precision.
Turnover there. Suarez thought about having a crack, closed down quickly. Washington carries, Wama monitors her, 1v1. Washington. Now to Van Zanten. To the feet of Suarez, back to Van Zanten, ball taken away. Now Stanford, can they transition? Nope, they'll pull it back and try and build. Here's Harvey. That Noles counter press so lethal. Helped lead to those 2 goals early for Florida State in South Bend. And on a night they felt like maybe it could have been 3-4 or even 5-0 at halftime. And a 2-0 lead evaporated into a 4-2 defeat. Still a lot of positives to take away against one of the best teams in the country. And Trevor, this league's so unforgiving night in and night out.
I mean, you just take a look at the standings and where they're at right now. I mean, Notre Dame's well positioned themselves atop the table.
There's a whistle.
A whistle against
elbow.
Stanford, and that'll be an opportunity for FSU on a free kick, fairly close to the 18-yard box. But Stanford off to a good start tonight, second in the ACC, could really separate themselves from the rest of the pack. Florida State's in this little bind right now with Virginia and Louisville. Paul Radcliffe thinks that's a call that should have gone the other way. So.
Trev, good work. When you can be a fly on the wall anytime. Silence the key, right?
Glad we have a microphone there, right down there on the sidelines. Yeah, you definitely have to always keep your ears open for sure, and wanting to learn from these head coaches too, who have had so much success. But it's just such a mosh pit here with the ACC. So many teams together that still a lot could be decided, and a lot of teams that were really good could be out of the ACC tournament. Stanford being one of them last year, who made it all the way to the College Cup. There are going to be teams that are left out of the ACC tournament this year that are going to make deep playoff runs in the tournament.
Van Zanten plays it short. Suarez. Noles have something from the playground. Ball was almost over the top there of Evans, but she cleared it. Chipped forward. Dudley trying to catch it out of the air. Another run there. Oh my goodness. Did it take a deflection? It was an absolute crunch from Jada McGrew. The freshman from Stanley, North Carolina, charging on with a head of steam. It'll be a corner.
Stanford doing well on the initial crosses and services, and then Dudley gets freed up, doesn't get all of this shot on the volley, and McGrew coming in hard. Stanford battening down the hatches just in time, but the Seminoles have gotten some momentum.
Suarez, out-swinging ball towards the 6. Pretty good ball. Dudley went up to meet it. Just couldn't redirect it back towards the frame.
This is better by the Noles over the last 4 or 5 minutes since the goal by Kitahata. And you're curious, like, how are you going to respond? And this is a place where Florida State is so dominant too, so it is not easy. You see a 1 in the away column here at the Seminole Soccer Complex. With how urgent this game is, obviously, for Brian Penske and Florida State, they put themselves at risk if they can't come away with points to maybe be on the outside looking in. And how often have you been able to say that over the last several years when it comes to the ACC standings?
Only the top 6 make it. First 2 teams get a bye, and then 3 and 6 will play at the 3rd seeds park, and 4 and 5 will play at the 4 seeds home park. Awesome shot of Coach Ratcliffe, peering over the shoulder of Sophia Wen. Now to Gilchrist. Florida State in that back 3, trying to create more width out of it. A change made mid-season. It has propelled their attack for the time being. Simmons, 1v1 against Wama. Simmons angles, whips it across, missed touch. And a chase towards the touch line. It'll be a throw. I guess there won't be a touch at all. It's a throw in for Stanford.
Yeah, not too many FSU players up the spine in the center. Nobody was home for someone to collect that cross by Simmons.
Nicole Green, our head official here this evening. Big matchup, as Trevor mentioned, in terms of postseason. Stanford 7 in the RPI, Florida State 8 in the RPI. Good ball sent forward. Washington jostling there with Murdoch.
Murdoch's had a really solid campaign here, although she's coming off a bit of an injury here. Got some starts late in 2024 that helped Stanford get to, once again, another College Cup. Really does a nice job of shutting down attacks, as you saw just there. A couple of sophomores here on this back line, along with freshman Lily Freer. Curious to see how they can contend with the likes of Jordynn Dudley, Soleil Washington, Rhea Hudson when she gets in.
Noles switch the point of the attack. Here's Simmons operating into the edge of the 18, turning, crossing. And in the end, not quite sharp enough there to test Sperkel, who had the near post covered.
That's a really nice job by Stanford of pushing and forcing Simmons away from the play and just forcing her to make an easy save opportunity for Burkle. And no other Seminoles were there to come along with, trying to stay and be in position for a potential cross, but just a nice job of just pushing the envelope outward for Simmons to not really make a dangerous threat.
Wynn was taken out. There's a foul. Early go, and Florida State out shooting Stanford 5-2. But right now, all that matters is the goal from Andrea Kitahata in the 6th minute. Clinical and surgical from this Cardinal team, who leads the country in goals. Now 52 of them on the year, and is number 1 in the NCAA in goals per game at averaging nearly 4 at 3.92. Direct ball. Noles looking for runners. Dudley unable to quite get a clean foot on it. Now Stanford pushes forward. Ike, hold up play. And how about Dudley running back 40 yards to help out in the defensive half.
But that's also really well done by Janet Okeke there to dispossess one of the best forwards in the game in Jasmine Ike, to force that opportunity. But Dudley, you see, going coast to coast, up and down, and now she'll draw a foul. You see the energy and stamina that she possesses to go along with her skill set is top-notch.
Lily Freer guilty of the foul. Dangerous position now here for the Noles for a set piece.
Another set piece indeed, and Freer just getting too close, too handsy, not playing the ball enough.
How good was that ball from Gilchrist? Right over the top.
And that's what you got to do. You know, you kind of have to mix things up. Florida State definitely is a team that can score in a variety of different ways for sure, but you got to somehow flip Stanford off of their comfort zone. You got to somehow get them turning away and get them out of position. You got to flip the field. Switches are a big key, I think, in a matchup with this much skill.
Suarez again will look to put this right on the penalty spot or towards that 6. Pretty good ball forward. Oh, on the end of it was it Gilchrist, just couldn't turn her body and find the net. Noles that close to the equalizer.
Closest chance yet. That gets through. Gilchrist just a little late here, and that ball does bend, however, a little bit too much before Gilchrist could get a foot on it in time. Good idea, nonetheless.
Suarez, 9 on your screen. Dynamic, has grown such a long way from where she was just 1 year ago. Brian Pensky telling us both goals against Notre Dame, she smashed them confidently. Laces through the ball. Had a brace quickly for Florida State on that chilly night in South Bend. Klinger dispossessed. Okeke, how good has she been? Oh my.
Very precise feet. But I think right now where Stanford is getting an edge is actually in the midfield. And another hard shot in the back, and this might be a booking for Lily Freer, and she is going into the books with the yellow card. That might have the potential to open things up a little bit more, Aria, down that left side. Stanford could ill afford to be down one player now.
Paul Ratcliffe told us Lily Freer will tackle. A little too much. That time you get another look at it.
Yeah, just gets in there, doesn't exactly go for the ball with enough precision, and just clips Jordynn Dudley's left leg. And said Stanford's owning the midfield right now. I think Shea Harvey's doing an excellent job winning the ball, finding space to operate, and then switching it back and getting back over toward the 18 of Florida State. But the Seminoles have gotten more of the possession time here on their home turf after that first goal. I think the last 13 or so minutes has really been in Florida State's favor right now. It'll be key now to see how Stanford feels with this much pressure. Can they stay on their back heel enough?
Cardinal got one clean chance early, and Kitahata, who has been doing it for a number of years, made the Noles pay. So Cardinal on top, 1-0 on a painted pink night. Florida State in special uniforms that will be auctioned off for Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare and the Walker Breast Cancer Program. Those things are sweet. Temperature in the low 80s, should finish in the low 70s by the time this game comes to a conclusion. Here's Ike. A foul. That's on Florida State's Van Zanten against Eleanor Klinger, the sophomore.
Dishing it right back. And, both teams don't like giving an inch. They have so much pride, so much prestige, and so much pedigree that they don't like being bullied. They like to dish it out. They like to take the game under their control. I think for the most part, Stanford's done the better job of that. It helps being up 1-0. This ball will go to Addie Todd. And even though Florida State has had more of the chances, they haven't been dangerous just yet. I think Stanford's done a nice job of weathering the initial chaos, the initial storm that FSU can present.
Dispossession here from the Cardinal. They want to transition quickly. Harvey, confident on the ball. Van Zanten jostles with her, able to drop it back. Guama to Ike, who drops it. Cut off there by Suarez. Now can Florida State transition. McGovern all the way to Todd.
That was really good anticipation by Suarez of cutting off that pass, intercepting and working the ball back, forcing Stanford to reset.
Dudley's press forces the ball back to Burkle. Cardinal get the ball high up on the pitch, able to get good field position. Into the width. First time cross towards that back post, too much mustard.
Kohler doing a nice job getting that ball over to Jasmine Ike. And if you weren't convinced about Ike's offensive presence, just take a look at how much she put into that cross. That was a big boot.
First meeting all time between these two programs in a regular season. Stanford a part of the ACC now in their second year. Poor giveaway. Harvey finds some real estate to work with. Ike, cross, cleared out for the time being. Van Zanten heads it forward. Suarez looking for Simmons, gives it away. Kitahata to Buama. All 6 prior meetings between these two in the postseason. Florida State and Stanford deadlocked at 3-3. Noles have won each of the last 2. And 3 of the last 4, as you see on your screen. familiarity. Of course, Jordynn Dudley had a goal against the Cardinal in that national title back in 2023. Ike, Kitahata, both a part of it. Actually, both were even credited with assists on the Cardinal goal. Paul Ratcliffe told us that was a pretty incredible Florida State team that night in Cary. Kitahata quickly getting forward. Nice job by Gilchrist to deny her. Now the Noles want to transition. Suarez was looking to play it into the pass to Washington, but Evans read it well and beat her to the spot.
Yeah, just so much star quality. You know, when you take a look at both rosters, players that are still on that championship game roster from that championship game, and certainly into the future as well. The new blend of players, freshmen, sophomores that have come through, transfers that want to be a part of a legacy, that want to be a part of a deep run and wanting to get championships. And that's what these two programs have set themselves up for year in and year out.
Washington trying to work against Buddha, who's playing a little deeper. Dudley dispossessed by Freer. Now KK lost it. Oh, Ike turns her over. But the work rate from Van Zanten to earn it back. And flag had gone up. It was offside anyway.
I think Ike's upset, though, because I think she's arguing for a handball on OKK, because the ball kind of made a stop, and it may have hit OKK's arm as Ike was trying to work her way up the pitch. But if the eyes of the line judge, then offsides is the call.
Ike, who's been just dominant in her career in Palo Alto. A goal now in 4 straight games. She's got 33 on her career. Part of every scouting report is that number 12, and named to the Mac Herman mid-season watch list, along with Elise Evans, Jordynn Dudley, Heather Gilchrist named for Florida State. That competitive spirit that Ike has, as the Noles continue to inch forward for the equalizer. McGovern into space. Dudley in a dangerous spot at whiskers high. Did it take a touch? It did not. It'll be a goal kick. All but Florida State was centimeters away.
McGovern does a nice job splitting hairs here and getting it into the box on the cross. And it's another one of those moments for Jordynn Dudley. She's had so many looks this season, and here's another one that just goes over the crossbar. In a game of this magnitude, you got to come away with goals and big impact moments to try and equalize here, certainly right now if you're the Seminoles, but you wonder how many chances you're going to get throughout the course of a game. Even if you feel like you have an advantage, even if you feel as though you have the upper hand or you have some momentum, in a game like this against a team like Stanford, you're probably not going to get as many chances as you'd like.
Hudson and Cologne are in for Florida State. Washington Simmons take a breather. Jay Harvey will also go to the bench for Elon Wen. They love Elon Wen in Palo Alto, number 18 from Fairfax, Virginia, has played in now all 14 games, including this one. And for Florida State, Hudson, who leads the Noles in goals this year, top 10 in the ACC, has provided such a spark, has been more ruthless in front of net for FSU now in year number 2.
Yeah, ever-increasing confidence for the 6'2" sophomore from Rochester, New York. A little more experience coming in for FSU, Una McCormack. Provides a lot of good finesse, good quality play in the center.
Van Zanten brings it down. Cologne able to find him on the ball. Gilchrist towards that back post, curling. Too strong. Dudley was there. It'll be a throw here for Stanford. Heather Gilchrist, who has been such a stalwart on that back line for FSU. The versatility of Gilchrist, who scored twice in the season opener against the Gators. This shot on frame. Burkle had it covered. That was the 8th shot for Florida State here in this first half.
Just not close enough, however, for Dudley. That's a little bit off to the left and would have been outside the post. Florida State just, you saw Dudley get a little bit close in there, but they've been getting on the outside. They've had their opportunities, but nothing much has been square in outside of Jordynn's opportunity there deep into the box in the center. Stanford's bending. They're not breaking yet.
Dudley, who's done just such a nice job of getting her teammates involved. Naturally, a lot of attention given to her. But the assists at 9 now here in her junior year, second in the ACC in that mark. And the goal scoring will come for her. There's still plenty of time. Hasn't quite been as clinical as she's been in years past, but she does possess the ability to break a game open in the blink of an eye. We've seen that already this year, as recently as the Miami game in Tallahassee.
I mean, even as recently last week against Notre Dame, she had at least, I could count 3, maybe even 4 opportunities where it could have been a goal scored. One got denied coming back off an offsides call. A couple going above the crossbar, one hitting off the post. I mean, she has been close so many times this season. It's got to be eating at her at times with only 4.
Right now, the Noles chasing the ball. This is something Paul Ratcliffe wants to do. It's something Stanford has in its creed, a pillar and a foundation of their program to possess, to be on the ball, to build out of the back. They transition when necessary. They tire teams out. Turning the corner there. Now is Kohler charging towards net. Gilchrist trying to get on it. Kitahata able to shake Gilchrist, but not OKK.
The over-aggressiveness of Mimi Van Zanten almost cost the Noles right there. Kohler did a great job of letting her just over-pursue, and then it opened up such a big space in the center.
Here's Cologne towards frame. Hudson! Burkle got a hand on it. What a ball from Cologne, and the Noles continue to just inch forward, nearing that first goal.
How about the steadiness of the freshman keeper and Burkle with 6'2" coming right in front as Hudson intelligently tries to put a screen right in front. If nothing else, obviously try and get a foot on the ball. But if nothing else, you have a screen to try and disrupt Burkle's rhythm, trying to gobble up the ball. Good play all around by both parties.
Cologne, the transfer from Arizona State, one of the big portal pieces for Florida State here this year on that Puerto Rican national team. 43 minutes against the Irish on Thursday night. Dudley, shot attempt there. Quite able to get her weight behind the ball.
I think that was just a rushed opportunity. Drew a little contact, but Seminoles, you got to spread it around a little bit. I think too much is going to Dudley right now, and understandably so. She is certainly your marquee attacker, but you have plenty of talent throughout this entire roster that can score goals. Hudson, you mentioned Andrea, 8 goals already this season. Una McCormack has been a really solid veteran from her time at Virginia, here at the Noles now in her first year in Garnet goal. Cologne can provide good service. Van Zanten can charge up. I think if you're the Noles, you got to spread the ball around a little bit more. Maybe put something outside of the box. Set something up that Stanford isn't expecting.
This is beautiful from the Cardinal. Switching the point of attack, keeping, staying on the ball. Evans able to find Murdoch. And Florida State continues to try and press. And it works that time. Can they transition now? Hudson gets the ball to her feet. Dudley gets forward. Dudley cutting it back to her right. Dispossessed.
Dudley trying to take on the world against Stanford. It was the only opportunity that the Noles really had there. Good patience by Hudson, allowing the ball to settle, get to her feet. You see Dudley's been working real hard. She's been running up and down the pitch. In fact, even taking a breather right now. His time is called. For Dudley to catch her breath, and she might be banged up a little bit as well.
We're going to ask the trainer to come on here to the pitch. So Dudley gingerly moving back. Two teams not strangers to each other in the postseason in program history. It has meant so much every time the Cardinal and the Noles have met up. And in the national title game back in 2023, Dudley on your screen delivered a huge moment for Florida State.
Yeah, penalty kick opportunity, get yourself out ahead. And as a freshman, you know, these are the moments that you're kind of unfamiliar with. As successful as you are as a high schooler, this is definitely on another level, but clinical, perfect under the bar. Helped get FSU its first ever undefeated national championship season. Brian Pensky gets his first national championship. 5-1 victory, all started by Jordynn Dudley.
Cody Brown also contributing to 2 goals on that night in Cary. Star number 4 on the crest for FSU. And Brian Penske's just second season at the helm. At that point, he had made a College Cup and won a national title. Last year, the Noles a 1 seed stunned on their home pitch by Vanderbilt in penalty kicks. Pensky saying, this group has a village of leaders. There's a chip on this team's shoulder from those lessons learned on that night in November.
I think they really hold each other accountable and themselves accountable first and foremost. They really are hard on themselves so much if something doesn't go their way. And you know, sometimes they compare themselves to previous championship teams as well, and that can be poison. That can be poison a little bit sometimes when you can get into your own head. But they obviously take care of themselves obviously so well physically, but then intellectually, how do they manage the game? How do they attack the game? Break down defenses, shore things up. It's certainly a big process for the Seminoles.
Noles give the ball away here. Stanford trying to make them pay. Outside of the boot pass, cut off. Nice work by the Noles getting it back.
Stanford trying to go right back to the well. Ike to set up Kitahata on the outside.
Dudley on the turn. Oh, if Wama hadn't gotten, or at least Evans checked that, hadn't got a foot on it. And Dudley might have been in on goal. It's a throw in FSU. Cardinal look poised to make another change. Brandon will come in for Florida State, the freshman out of Canton, Michigan. Had a goal against Cuse, did not play against Notre Dame. Did Maya Brandon. Now McCormack to Cologne on that right side. Service towards the middle of the box. Cleared out, and Brandon chases after it before the touchline.
Fresh legs for Brandon, easily able to track that down, but with Stanford still bearing down on you, you've got to pick up the pace.
10 shots for Florida State, 3 for Stanford.
Stanford has turned this more into what Paul Ratcliffe likes to call a soccer game.
Dudley to McGovern, angling. McCormack onto her right foot, turning, deflected, clear. Now Cologne. Dangerous spot again here for FSU. Curling it. Hudson heads it down. Oh, and it bounces over. What a terrific ball. And Hudson seemed poised for the finish.
Wow, that was well executed by Cologne to serve up Brianna Hudson. Gets in so far deep, and Hudson just downs this ball way too much. I like the idea of it going down and bouncing to get under the crossbar, but it just had too much downward force. Merkel was in a pretty good spot, but still, that ball escaped her. Luckily, it hops on over the bar.
Boy, the Noles have really grown into this match since the 6th minute goal from Andrea Kitahata. Cross was looking for Kitahata. Cleared away. Wama at left back. Evans, the veteran, now playing in her 74th game in Palo Alto for Stanford. All starts.
Foul called to Jordynn Dudley. Just a little too physical against Evans. That's been a battle tonight between those two heavyweights. But what Stanford's trying to do is make this a soccer game now, Ari, and what I mean by that and what Paul Ratcliffe likes to talk about is slowing the pace, not making it a transitional game. He wants to limit Florida State's fast-paced opportunities. Shot by Kohler. Oh, and that one trickles back.
Did they point?
They're gonna count it for Kohler. I think it trickled past Addie Todd and rolled across the goal line.
They do say the ball crossed the line.
I think they're going to take a look at this.
There is going to be a look.
But this is a big possible goal here for Stanford, Aria. This would be a huge advantage for the Cardinal to be up 2 goals here with just under 9:30 left in this first half. What a shot, half volley in the air, and that
what a mistake.
That looks pretty
from
clear.
Addie Todd.
That looks pretty clear here. We'll take a look here from the goal cam.
It's right to Todd, who just muffs it. That is a mistake from the keeper. That it looks like the ball is clearly across the line. And you can see it on her face. She can't believe it.
Well, that's a tough break for Todd, and full credit to Charlotte Kohler, who really booted that ball hard. That's certainly tough to stop, but you see what Todd's trying to do with the gloves up, and it squirts through underneath the arm and just bounces through. That's such an unfortunate moment. But it's also one that I think Addie Todd is fully capable of stopping too, with getting the hands a little closer so that that ball doesn't find an avenue through.
Boy, and a stunned Tallahassee crowd. The Noles had started to dominate, and that is a goal. And it was pretty clear on replay the ball had crossed, so give Kohler the goal. Other than that, really, if you look at it, Florida State's dominated the run of play, and Stanford's had 2 chances, and they've really finished them both.
But I think under pressure, Stanford is just so used to this. They have so much more grit. I think they have a lot more grit to them, maybe compared to years past. And yeah, that just looks really clear that that ball fully crossed the line. But they also have played some stiffer competition already this year, Aria, whether it's been at home still on the West Coast facing their former Pac-12 team mates in USC and UCLA, or if it's going on the road across the country again, you know, facing Clemson and Pittsburgh.
Absolutely clinical there from Stanford. You see the poise from this Cardinal team, the experience. Paul Ratcliffe said it's tougher away from home to be able to generate the focus, but he said, I kind of hope our senior leadership leads that charge.
Yeah, he feels they're more ready than ever, and they've obviously made so many deep postseason runs. We've touched on the last 2, reaching the College Cup, the only team in the country to do that.
2 straight appearances to the College Cup.
And that just breeds so much experience. It can breed confidence, and as tough as those moments are to not finish the job, we've touched on a little bit tonight how that can feed and that can build and that can want unfinished business, like you talked about with Andrea Kitahata. Like, they want to come back and finish the job. They want to put another national championship back in the books, into the rafters, behind the glass over in Palo Alto. It's been since 2019. And that's a little bit of time, given the pedigree of this program, to be without a national championship.
Cardinal with a firm grip on this match. Up 2. There's a foul. Clip towards the back of the heel there. Bama went down.
Yeah, I think if you're Florida State right now, you have to settle yourselves down. You got to settle your minds down. How rare is this to say? The Seminoles have conceded in their play the last 6 goals in their matches when you stem it from Notre Dame. They have 6 unanswered goals against Florida State. That is a wild stat.
Florida State crowd trying to will the Noles back into it. It was an FSU team that found themselves ahead 2-0 on the road at at Notre Dame on Thursday last week, only to give up 4 from behind. They'll try and channel something similar here on their home pitch.
That's such a great point, Ari. Florida State has just the recency bias, or has the recent memory of, look, you were on the opposite side of this just a game ago. You can turn this around. You have all the weapons in the world. You have all the capability to get back on your front foot and go down and score. Sure, it's not going to be easy. This is as measured a team as they faced all season long in Stanford. But you have to believe. You have to find that internal belief and dig down deep in a moment like this. It's a really good turn by Van Zanten with the ball. Then you got to be able to finish the job. You know, you got to connect passes.
Under 6 to play. Dudley looking for Hudson. Closed down. It'll be a throw. There's a Stanford Cardinal player slow to get up.
It's Freer. Outside back. Freshman. Paul Radcliffe has said, I can't get her off the field. She's played so well. That's not exactly a great sign right there, trying to work her way back to the sideline. Player who's played so well. Kind of got her start on the inside center back position. Moved out to outside back. Has done a nice job tackling. Really solid on the outside for Stanford. Really good competitive mindset passer. Really solid crosser as well. So curious to see how Stanford reacts, holds fort these last 5 minutes without her.
A goal kick for Stanford. I'm not quite sure what Hudson was hoping to do there. Under 5 to play in this half. The Cardinal, they've got 4 shots total and 2 have found the net. Florida State, 11 shots. Still looking for a lifeline.
But they also only have 3 of those shots on goal, Ari. And I think, honestly, if you could kind of summarize a little bit of this season, I think that's a little bit it. I mean, if you're Stanford, you know, you've been so accurate in your shots, and you've capitalized on it. You've found the back of the net.
Cologne plays it into the box, headed back across, but into the arms of Merkel.
And the Seminoles certainly have had shots. They've had the advantage in shots in almost pretty much every match, but you haven't been on frame enough. And again, it's not a bad goal total that they have. It's solid, but maybe not. It's certainly not to the liking of what Florida State is capable of here from years past. They have been certainly more efficient. They've led the nation in offense several times.
No doubt.
In previous years.
Pretty amazing, though, coming in. Stanford leads the country in shots per game at over 25. They've only got 4 shots, but they have been clinical and made it count. Kitahata with the goal to get things started.
And then Kohler with the big boot. getting through the midst of Addie Todd. And that's really what it ultimately comes down to. Yeah, you can win the shot battle. You can put even more shots on goal, but they got to find a way back into they have to find the way to hit the net or cross that line. And Stanford has been as efficient of a program and as efficient of an attack this year amongst any other team. You may be able to, you could probably say Notre Dame. Maybe you could say Virginia. They're the ones who are making that argument.
Well, the stats say Stanford's been the #1 offense in the country.
Yeah. You roll out
every offensive stat says it's Stanford.
Yeah.
Now I would agree with you. I think Notre Dame has the scarier front two with Engel and Chukwu. You got players like Ike, as well as Kitahata, and what Klinger has brought to the table, what Harvey brings in midfield.
I just think they probably have the most balance of any team. When you just watch them play tonight, to come into this place and take control really from the outset of the game, not many programs can say that.
Getting a goal, as you look at the numbers there, scoring first on the road really helps set a tone for the visiting team, and to do it that early especially. And the national rankings for the Cardinal, I mean, it's just incredible.
And they play so well together. Everybody likes each other. And not only that, not only do they get along, they want others to succeed. So they enjoy playing with the ball and feeding it to their teammates because they want to celebrate their success. It's something that Paul Ratcliffe really admires about this group. They want to see everybody that's out there, all 11, find success. So it's a bunch of unselfish players that come in committed with a winning mindset from the minute they step onto the practice facility to the second they step off it, going back and studying or getting some sleep. It is contagious for the Cardinal.
No doubt. Those players who have been to back-to-back college cups together. Part of why Mia Buda and Andrea Kitahata came back to Stanford. Kitahata, dangerous again. That shot deflected. Great close-down speed from the Noles.
Van Zanten, I think, arguing that she didn't touch it, but that certainly was not the most accurate shot that Kitahata's ever had. So something set her off. So it'll be a corner for the Cardinal. Gilchrist doing a nice job of just getting in her way. Yeah, I think definitely Van Zanten touched that and rolls out for a corner. Gilchrist holding down. This is tested. FSU's back line has been perhaps all season long. Coming off that Notre Dame result, they've got to hold things down now.
30 seconds to play. Here in this opening stanza, corner. Off a Seminole head, it will go to another corner, but from the other flag.
Stanford's got to rush this a little bit. There's still plenty of time here. Set it up. 10 seconds and counting. Got to get it off.
Now it's 6. Sent it, and Todd that time able to grab it. And that is how the first 45 comes to an end. Second-ranked team in the country, the Stanford Cardinal. 2 goals in the first half, leading Florida State by a brace. And he used the word composure. You asked that question to Brian Penske. Paul Ratcliffe told us about his team. He said it's a composed group led by our veterans.
Yeah, veterans, senior leadership, a team that's been there, done that. So many players that have gone so deep into the postseason. In terms of structurally for Stanford, you know, what they did against Virginia was they were able to drop players back a little bit more when they got up by 2 goals. They can turn themselves into a 5-3-2 a little bit, more of like a triangle pyramid sort of structure to where they can withstand Florida State's attack because they're definitely going to bring numbers forward because the Noles have to. So Stanford is fully prepared for any team that comes in with a lot of confidence and a lot of firepower. So it's just a matter of can Florida State break them down if that's the route that Stanford wants to go.
It's a Seminole team that is 33 unbeaten, dating back a couple of seasons here in Tallahassee, especially at a place, the Seminole Soccer Complex, that has been very tough for opponents to come in and find their results. The match against Vandy last year doesn't count as it's a draw, but the Commodores advance on penalties. You heard Trevor say it, these first few 10 to 15 minutes, opening portion of the second half, will be critical for Florida State. Quickly ahead, Dudley's got it. Looking for a runner. McCormack turns, shoots, blocked, recovers. Dudley. Now to Van Zandt. Noles switch the point of attack, but it's cut out there.
Evans and Kohler in particular, Aria, sorry about that. They did a really nice job of cutting off FSU's shots and crosses.
Too heavy from Van Zandt, looking for Simmons. There's Klinger, on your screen. Sophomore from Cleveland, Ohio. He's named to an ACC freshman team last season. Was actually supposed to graduate high school, and this was supposed to be her freshman year, but she classified early and came to Palo Alto last year at the age of 17.
Didn't want to wait around. I want to be a part of this. This is fun out here. Love that mentality, right? Wanting to take on the challenge at such an early age before you were anticipated and perceived to be there. Want to get right to work.
Throw it here for Florida State on a packed night in Tallahassee. Great crowd on hands, upwards of 2,000. Haven't been given much to cheer about as Stanford has come in and been the more clinical side.
It hasn't honestly been close, Aria. I think Stanford has come in here with such precision, as precise of a team that I think we've called a lot of Florida State games here at the complex. I've never seen a team this clinical, maybe in 5-6 years. I think we could go back to maybe the 2019 quarterfinal match with UCLA when they came in here and shut out Florida State 4-0. I mean, that's an insane score on this surface. But Stanford has been so clinical. They've been so precise. Their passing has not skipped a beat, hardly at all. They know exactly where to go, exactly where to turn and run. And more likely than not, a player in black is going to find the ball and keep pressing it forward.
Ike back to goal, now turns it. Cross, blocked. Noles get it out of danger.
How about the freshman, Jada McGrew, step for step with Ike.
McGrew has been impressive in her first season in Tallahassee. She is on your screen. Track star in high school. Ryan Penske telling us she loves film review, one of the most vocal he's got in the locker room amongst her teammates. So much trust, right, in her going to that back three to be able to handle one of the center back positions. A converted attacker with athleticism to burn, but also a tactical acumen that has allowed FSU to make that switch.
And a willingness to get on the pitch, right, even if it's out of position. Wanting to make a contribution, make an impact, however she sees fit. Huge physical play here, and Jordynn Dudley up in arms about it, but
a late whistle.
Sempoama hitting hard to the deck. Take another look. Boama receives the pass. Yeah, a little shove in the back by Dudley. Just enough to send Boama down to the grass.
Lizzie Boama, the sophomore from San Diego, California. Big-time recruit coming into Palo Alto 1 year ago. Her ability to get forward, something that sticks out in her early career. In her 12th start here earlier tonight. So much talent in that San Diego area.
Yeah, she's been a bright spot, especially when Sophie Murdoch went down with an injury. And while she's been in every game, she really provides that spark, that extra level of offensive capability up a wing and up the side. Can get all the way deep down to the end line and actually set up Charlotte Kohler with that second goal against Virginia on Sunday. And what that also allows is to get more numbers into the box too, because you can send more players down there to get in position.
On the throw. Looks for the cross, cut out. Picked out of the sky by Boama, number 7. Okay. Surveys. Oh, just lofts it out. Throw in for Stanford.
Again, it's that balance of trying to be clinical, precise, and with a sense of urgency. But at the same time, you have to be composed. You have to still have confidence in executing your spots and executing your passes, connecting. And the Seminoles have just been a little bit off. Stanford's really forced the issue a little bit and exposed that. And Stanford's also getting in the way of a lot of passes too. You see a lot of deflections here up the left side, or shots being taken inside the box. And again, like you said, Aria, the stats belong to Florida State, except for the one that matters, the score.
Play on. Shot floated towards Todd. That was easy for Todd, the sophomore. KK. Florida State tries to build out of the back. Gilchrist. Stanford will concede some ground to her. She'll carry forward. Simmons, right wing back. And a final touch that will leave her asking for more.
And the Seminoles are designed to really get direct up the pitch fast. But I think if you're going to try and break Stanford down, you have to come in with a little bit of creativity. You have to find some triangle play, get some combinations working in the center. Try and break them down some way where they get out of position, because we talk about how good Stanford is passing as an offensive team, but they do a remarkable job as well of getting themselves in the right spot at the right time to disrupt and then block, to get you off of your spot and then force you to come up with a second, third, fourth option.
Cardinal looking for a third here. Buda. Klinger angling for a right-footed cross. And Todd was able to meet it. Klinger had 2 goals earlier this season against USC in that victory for Stanford. It's dual citizenship to not just the United States, but the United Kingdom as well. A little over 37 to go. Dudley, terrific strides to McCormack, cut out there by Murdoch. Flag had gone up for an offside. Nike straying a little bit too far. Noles will quickly reset. Now Gilchrist. A lot of white uniforms getting forward for FSU. Guama. There's a player down. Top of your screen.
Bahama, Stanford really wanting a foul, screaming off the bench. Bahama's still down, and time will finally be called. I think it was Dudley. Somebody came up flying from behind Bahama. Take a look. Dudley draws a little bit of contact, and I'm not sure exactly from that angle. I mean, she really hit the ground hard. It didn't look like it was too hard of a hit by Dudley. Regardless, based off that reaction, I think Dudley's fortunate the referees didn't see it. Bahama will be substituted. She's holding her head. That's always a scary sign, and you want to make sure your athletes are okay and making sure they are responding. Sammy Smith will insert herself into Bahama's spot, number 13 for the Cardinal. Basically set up a reset of play with Cardinal getting the ball.
Saw Sammy Smith come in, number 13, sophomore from Boise, Idaho. Pair of sisters on this team, her and Logan Smith. Logan older, the senior. She wears number 28, has 35 appearances in her career. Can Florida State find a lifeline? Good ball. McCormack cuts it back to her right foot, edge of the 18. On the cross. And it cleared out of the box, but right to McCormack. Plays it towards the back post. Suarez couldn't get on the end of it. Well, that is in essence what Florida State wants to do.
That's excellent effort by Sophia Nguyen. Check out the slide tackle and the slide pass just right on the touchline, setting up McCormack. And then Suarez trying to get set up by McCormack on both instances. Tip of the cap to Sophia Nguyen, giving it everything she has from trying to save the ball. Of note, Taylor Suarez has been very silent tonight, Aria. A lot of players that you're used to seeing on the ball for FSU not exactly making the big impact that we're used to. That's what Stanford does. They're just so good. They're so good of taking players out, but sticking to their game plan.
Buddha on the throat. Florida State leaves that pressure. The wave of black uniforms is able to meet the ball. Harvey wearing that captain's armband to Buddha. 4 captains for this Stanford team. Harvey, cross, header! Oh, it just missed the back post. Kitahata almost had her second. And the Noles catch a break here early in the second half.
That's an incredible run on. Kitahata floored it to try and get that ball headed down and just missed the mark. Coming back near side. I mean, Harvey's just been left alone a couple of times, and she has made some really big impact plays. That one actually missed by a little bit, but you Seminoles, you got to get back into position and try and own those boxes. And good insurgence here by Jada McGrew charging up.
Washington have to fight for her grounds. McGrew getting high up the pitch from her center back position. Dudley occupies the width. Dudley not on the same page as her teammate Simmons. And Stanford able to blast the ball forward, just buy themselves some time. There's one to Gilchrist. Dudley, clinical. Boy, Dudley's been active tonight, hasn't she?
Yeah, she is definitely not letting the reserves go. Here's a missed touch. Heads up play by Okeke, but not out of the woods yet with Jasmine Ike, always lurking.
Terrific individual skill from Okeke. Calm on the ball. Ike, so strong.
I'll talk about another player who's very active is Jasmine Ike with what she's capable of doing. Player who's can play honestly at any position.
Okay.
I mean, she's played at every position in her
stats
Stanford
back
career.
her up in every position
And
she
yet,
plays.
what's amazing about that, Ari, is that she has now 3 seasons of double-digit goal scoring. And this, we're still in the regular season here. She already has 11. I mean, she is a complete versatile player and probably the most versatile athlete that Paul Ratcliffe has ever coached. When we brought it up to him, he said he never really thought about it, but when you mention it, he said I've had players play 2 different levels, but I don't think at the quality of play I've had a player play at all 3 the way Jasmine Ike has had.
You think about some of the players he's coached, Andy Sullivan's, the Katarina Macarios, Kristen Presses, and Kelly O'Hara's of the world, the Sophia Smiths and the Tierna Davidsons.
I mean, you're talking about Mac Herman Trophy winners. You're talking about National Players of the Year. He's coached 6 of them.
Unbelievable.
And he's saying this is the best one in terms of versatility. That's amazing.
Suarez gets it forward. Dudley, edge of the 18, muscles to her left. Plays it across, McCormack, denied. It'll be a corner. Boy, Florida State starting to find some possession. Stringing together some passes. That was a good job there connecting. Great defense, though, from the Cardinal as well.
Yeah, this is a textbook run by the Seminoles. If you can get Jordynn Dudley going downhill. Bring everybody else along with you. There are numbers, there are extra numbers for Florida State to find. Good job warding off Sammy Smith and McCormack in position, but a good job by Murdoch to mark McCormack step for step. But here's another chance as Cardinal make a sub.
Bomb was ready to go. She's back in for Smith.
That's a great sign.
Good to see her back out there. Big chance for Florida State.
Suarez over the ball.
Back post, picked out of the sky. Well done from Burkle. We approach the 30-minute mark. Left to play in Tallahassee. Terrific from Harvey to craft some space. Ike touched ahead. Shot deflected. Oh, Todd saw it well. Had to come up huge. It took a wicked deflection.
Ike comes right back. And you see the way, it's amazing just watching Stanford here tonight and the different styles that they can play, right? They can sit on the ball, they can build from the back, and then they can also work in transition so fast. And then they can also just take the ball from the back and just charge up and be so surgical and precise and get a shot off and put it on the keeper.
Stanford's closed that gap in shots now. They have 9 of them on the game. They're actually now out shooting Florida State in terms of shots on goal, 6-3. Cardinal have let Florida State carry it forward, and in transition have been able to win the ball back and get some quality chances.
How about this? About 16 minutes into this second half, and the Noles still don't have a shot on yet. Not even, forget on a goal, they don't have a shot, period. I mean, that's just a commitment level and just a dedication to being all 11 on offense, all 11 on defense, and completely just perfectly executing what you have to do. As Ike gets a well-earned rest. Brooke Holden.
Outstanding freshman Brooke Holden. 5 goals on the year from Alpine, California. Paul Ratcliffe singled her out as such an injector of energy. OKK beats her to the ball. Gets it back to Todd. Keeper will play with her center back. The Noles will try and build.
I think Ratcliffe's thinking that get some fresh legs on there. Holden is a speedster. She can definitely create a high press, force FSU to not build from the back and force them to make a play back to everybody else. Try and win the ball back and keep it away from a dangerous Seminole squad.
It's a Florida State team when you think about offense. 66 games in a row. They've got at least 1 goal dating back to 2022. Longest streak in the country, longest in school history. McCormack. Seminoles just looking for a lifeline. Could they have something here? When mishit it. That was the first shot of the half, though, for Florida State. Took almost 20 minutes of play here in the second stanza.
Yeah, Aria, you touched on it. The last time Florida State didn't have a goal was shut out at Notre Dame, October 9th, 2022. So over 3 years now.
There's a lot of streaks on the line. More importantly, though, streaks always meant to be broken, but 3 points towards the ACC standings. An RPI victory of the signature variety, and one that could position your team perfectly heading into postseason play. This was somehow a Stanford team that was not rated in the top 16 of the D1 committee that was released over the weekend. That seems a bit egregious.
I mean, I don't know how much Paul Ratcliffe, and maybe we should have asked him that question about how much do you guys look at headlines and rankings ahead of the season? But if ever there was a motivating factor, I mean, there's one right there. And especially for a team that has been to the College Cup the last 2 seasons. I mean, that is a eye-popping ranking to start the year. Whatever fuel they do get, though, and however they motivate themselves and hold themselves. It is working here in 2025, and quite honestly, ever since Paul Ratcliffe has come to Palo Alto.
Sophia went, looking to play direct. Klinger able to cut it out, off the face.
How about this too? Off the face and just stares a hole through Sophia Wynn. Like, try that again. You want to talk about toughness? Add that to a quality for Klinger and Stanford.
You get the sense watching this Florida State team now through a number of games how much they miss a player like Taylor Huff. Someone in that attacking midfield. They can kind of get the ball to Dudley, into your strikers into Washington, be able to relieve pressure through the middle channels. The Noles still looking for somebody like that here this year. They've had flashes of it from Suarez, flashes of it from a player like McGovern. Brian Penske told us they've actually toyed with the idea of Mimi Van Zanten moving up to the 10 and playing in an attacking mid-role.
McCormack has come in, showed some beautiful ball play, you know, in the box, but you have to get to the box too, and you have to have space to operate. There's McCormack.
They had hoped it would be Una McCormack, the transfer from Virginia. She's had her moments this year. Some big goals on the season. Against Carolina had one.
I think if there's
against the Gators as well.
Yeah, I think if there's something.
This ball, Hudson, just not able to quite put an effective header on frame.
That's actually a little bit of a mistake, though, by Burkle. She could have let that ball cross the end line, and that's going to be an FSU corner. So a mini freshman mistake, perhaps, for Burkle, but you obviously never want to take any chances if you don't exactly know where you are around the frame. But if there's something Florida State can really work on maybe a little bit more to add the elements and to get more dominance, I think it's just having a little bit more dynamic feet, a little more dynamic play in the center.
So a break for the Noles. We'll try and cash in on the corner. Punched away by the freshman keeper. Cologne. That's pretty.
That's a beautiful flick.
Headed back across. On in the end. Gilchrist not able to convert on what she was trying to attempt, but it was the right idea.
Second chance for Gilchrist in this match with a ball into the box. Cologne does leave this out a little wide, but
boy, she had OKK right there.
Yeah, there were definitely numbers for FSU. One of the rare times in this match where player in the white jerseys, the white kits, gets a little bit freed up. I mean, this Stanford back line and defense has been really, really sticky. I mean, they have just been all over FSU.
Cardinal trying to play direct in transition. Looking for Kitahata. It's on the pass from Holden. Turnover, Van Zanten dispossessed. Square pass, too heavy.
Kohler just missed that pass to Klinger.
Hudson up ahead, and it rolls right at the edge of the box. How about that from the freshman keeper? Tarita exceptionally well off her line. Not a bad idea, though, from the Noles, trying to go over the top.
Burkle just checks so many boxes, and she's honestly playing like a senior this year. I mean, you think about the last two games. You can include this one. To face the #1 team in the country in Virginia at the time. Good offensive team. And to come on the road now against this team, against Florida State historically, she has been standing on her head very nicely. And here's a big opportunity that Stanford's going to get rewarded.
Kohler was flying forward, got tripped up.
And she just has so much great straight line speed, and she's so effective at using it too. Another chance for Stanford to maybe put this game out of reach. Evans over the ball.
Evans plays it into the box, headed away.
Well done again by McGrew. Suarez trying to run on and catch it.
Has a lot of speed to burn.
Well done by Murdoch. So Suarez, she'll get a break. 21 minutes and counting. Laura Dantas, maybe she can provide a little spark off the bench. She really has excellent ability to control the ball, dribble, create a chance on her own if she needs to. Provides great service.
Throw incoming.
Again, Maya Brandon getting inserted here to the lineup. A couple of missed touches, rewarding Stanford with the ball, and still will be Stanford just working their way up.
Ball played forward. McGrew battling. Holden wins it. Onto her right foot, Holden to the outside. Great piece of defending from OKK, but it's a corner for Stanford. Out swinging ball, headed out. Under 20. Headed down. High kick there, and it'll be called.
Yeah, really dangerous high kick by Klinger. Too close for comfort to Brandon.
Terrific ball ahead. Late start there for Maya Brandon, trying to trigger forward. It's a throw in for Stanford. This Seminole crowd just antsy for something. OKK. Ball pinging around in the middle. One back by Stanford. Klinger. Wama checks it back. Evans. Over to Murdoch. Stanford switches the point. Buddha battled some injuries earlier this year. Able to get back and play the most minutes she's had against Syracuse. OKK. Brandon plays it forward, looking for Dudley. Now Buddha pressed by Hudson. She's able to turn forward and boot it out of bounds. It's better from Florida State, Trevor. Able to press, able to find some turnovers. They've been able to press higher into Stanford's half here in this second half.
Yeah, they just need a barrage of opportunities, though. I mean, they just have not had that here in the second 45. They're going to need to find a couple. I think Jordynn Dudley's been pretty quiet here in this second half in particular. I think Stanford's done a nice job of marking her, and the Seminoles just have not been able to find the ball to her feet outside of one chance to try and set up Una McCormack deep.
Brandon on the cutback. It'll be a throw for FSU. Klinger was there. Gilchrist had a go. Stuffed out by that Cardinal team.
And you see, it's a lot of moments like that where Stanford is just putting their bodies right in front of long ball opportunities, crosses into the box, shot attempts. Seminoles, I don't think, are used to that. They're not used to a team like Stanford with that much quality standing right in front of their face or getting in their face. That's kind of the way Florida State likes to play.
Dudley couldn't quite work the angle, ended up off her own boot. And it is a goal kick. Frustrating night for Florida State in the final third. A lot of credit to Stanford. They have thrown bodies at the ball. They've been committed defensively. Haven't really let Florida State have a ton of dangerous opportunities. There have been a couple here and there, and in those moments, the Noles haven't been clinical enough to make the Cardinal pay. But overall, the quality chances in this match have belonged to Stanford. Even stoppage of play. About 15 minutes. Any adjustments you want to see from these two teams? Stanford obviously is trying to see this one out. Is there anything Florida State can do to find at least one goal and give themselves a lifeline?
I think they just have to find some sort of combination and work collectively and together a little bit more, stay close, find a couple of combinations with players, run with them a little bit more. Set something up in the middle. I think Florida State's really tried to go on the outside a little bit too much in this match, and Stanford's just been very content, and they will stay content with keeping the ball out wide because they can definitely have numbers in the box. If they want to play back with 5 in the back on the back line, they'll do that. Find a way to try and break them down in the center.
See the stats comparison, 14-9 in favor of Florida State, but the quality chances belong to the Cardinals, 6-4 in shots on goal. Both teams have been physical here tonight. Not a ton of corner kicks. The Noles had 11 of them against Notre Dame last week in South Bend. Really, this feels like a postseason matchup, doesn't it? Scheme and tactics involved, and Stanford's just picked out their moments and been able to make Florida State pay, and the Noles just in that final third haven't been able to quite put away a chance or two.
What would you expect? These are two teams that have only faced each other in the postseason.
No kidding.
But you're absolutely right. I mean, it's just been a really balanced game, back and forth. Both teams have had their opportunities. But I think you've noticed here, with only 15 minutes left in the game, this deep, that Stanford has been by far the more clinical team.
Still 15 minutes to play. Florida State 66 games in a row with a goal. 33 in a row at home unbeaten. Kalog, Dantas, gave it an effort.
And that was better in terms of finding something into the center above the 18, right? You see McCormack taking the ball to the center, then kick it out wide, trying to find their way back. It's just on these final passes and then these shot attempts, I feel as though, Aria, they're just being rushed a little bit too much, and there's just not enough quality to find where you are and trying to get a really good, solid shot. Now, again, a credit to Stanford. They're doing a lot of that. They're buzzing and disrupting and creating being a nuisance to the FSU without question. But if you're the Noles, you got to find a way to get some willpower and fight through it.
Battle there between Buda and Hudson. Throw in Stanford. Three subs coming for Florida State. All trying to inject some energy. See Suarez back in there for the Noles. Simmons came on as well. Down the line on the throw. Dudley finds herself with some space, able to bring it down. Tries to get out. Goes down, play on. Cole Green was having none of it.
This is about the loudest the crowd's been all night, and it's wanting a call with a penalty in the box.
One more sub here for Florida State. Washington in. Under 13 to play.
This is an interesting choice, taking out Una McCormack, so you're bringing Washington back down a little bit into the formation. Maybe provides a little bit more direct speed. Brian Penske mixing and matching a little bit here to try and find the right combination to get a goal on the board.
Another throw coming. Suarez. Alone. Too heavy. Just trying to carve herself out some space for a cross. The rigors of the ACC, unkind to all who play. Stanford, Florida State, two of the best in the league. Notre Dame has been elite all year, leading the top of the points. Louisville has had an outstanding resurgence this season. That ball into the box. Dudley, Washington, onto her left, cut out, tried to get it to her right foot.
That's one where you want to just take the shot.
Who would have thought a year where Duke and Carolina would be in the middle of the pack? Just 9 points and 3-3 in the league. Virginia's had a nice year at the top. Noles continue to try and find at least a goal here.
Yeah, Soleil trying to carve her way back toward the center, but hey, heads up play by Elon Wynn. One of the best technical players here on this roster. Paul Radcliffe even giving a shout out to Joelle Jung as well. Those two very, very similar in their play. Two players with very high IQs and certainly have the competitive spirit. Put in the work, very passionate about what they do.
Washington with a giveaway. Now the Cardinal in transition. Suarez works hard to get back. Able to help Florida State win the ball. And a tackle. Foul called. Klinger ran into Gilchrist. And Heather slow to get up. They'll stop the clock there at 10:08. Played forward. Stanford's got a number of players back. Suarez, Van Zanten. Throw in.
I think you see the Seminoles trying to get a little bit more, yes, direct, but then work through the center on the ground a little bit more near the midfield circle. But Stanford has so many numbers right now back that they are really locking things down no matter where the Noles go. I think they're content if the Noles want to play outside, they'll allow them to do that. But I don't think anything's going to get through the center right now.
What's the adjustment there for Florida State?
Got to find a way to time a run to get over the top and see if you can get Stanford's faces toward the net. It's going to be so difficult to try and find a ball low and diagonal into the center. You just see they're everywhere. They just have so many they just do such a great job of, if one player gets out of position and pursues, another is there to back them up.
Towards that back post. Not able to get on the end of it. Was Van Zandt. Cardinal getting forward. Klinger, advantage given. Gilchrist clears it. Dudley clipped down. And a stoppage of play.
Wow, that is some real physical play. Buddha trying to control, and Dudley with a hard shot. And then Buddha did not take kindly to that. Intentionally trips up Dudley, and that'll be a yellow card for Buddha.
There's actually 2 yellow cards just given. Okeke was given a yellow for the previous run on Klinger, and then that time Buddha goes into the book, clipping down Dudley.
Yeah, for the Seminoles, you got to get this ball as deep as you can. Not a moment to lose with 8 minutes and change.
Direct towards that box, and Burkle's got it. Well done by the freshman.
Okay. KK. Yeah, slide up. That's, I think maybe if anything, the cleats are a little bit up. Nothing demonstrative for sure, but.
Washington is looking for a runner. Towards that back post, and Buddha's got it. It's Cologne running on. Now just over 7 to play. A road trip of firsts for Stanford continues with a match at Miami on Sunday. They wrap with one against SMU and at Cal in that rivalry. This cross headed out. Florida State team who has a gauntlet to end the year, not just this Stanford team, but against Cal, who's receiving votes, at Virginia, who's ranked number 3 in the country, and they finish with 17th ranked Wake on senior night in Tallahassee.
That's as brutal of an ending schedule as you could ask for. And look, the ACC is not kind to anybody, but that is a really tough slate for the Seminoles to end. And Cal looking like they're going to win tonight against Miami too. I mean, Cal's going to, if this holds up, they're going to leapfrog Florida State in the ACC standings. Could be even more of an impetus for FSU to get a W and collect points.
Washington on that turn. That ball finds the net! The Seminoles have a lifeline. 6 minutes and change to play.
Oh man, extracurriculars abound here between Evans and Dudley, but what a goal. I'm really interested to see how this one finishes up here, what's going to be called, if there's going to be any more bookings. But how about Jordynn Dudley? Washington, great patience, and puts this one right on the spot. Dudley just puts her body on the line on the far side, just gets, I think, her upper chest on that one. You see the extracurriculars as Dudley wants to get that ball back to the center of the pitch as fast as possible to restart play. Just gets her body there. You know, just put effort, put yourself in the net, and you see just the flailing in the back of the net. Elise Evans tied up in the ropes. Yeah, all good there by Dudley. No handball, nothing, and Dudley's just trying to reach the ball, and Evans playing defense, and making a timeout and play to maybe take a look at this.
So for Dudley, that would be goal number 5 on the year. The goal streak lives on, 67 in a row, dating back to 2022. And more importantly, the Noles now have 6 minutes and 10 seconds to try and find the equalizer and steal a point at home.
That also extends Jordynn Dudley's point streak in matches to 10. So they could be looking at an onside, maybe, or offsides call, maybe a handball. It was really tough. I don't think just looking at the replays, didn't look like Dudley extended her arms at all. It looked like that was upper chest, if anything. So maybe a couple different looks here in terms of review. But nonetheless, to cut this game down to a one-goal game, it is within reach now for the Seminoles. And maybe they might be, honestly, Aria, reviewing to see if there's any extra bookings that need to be happened too, with how much was going on in the back of that net. It was pretty dramatic.
It'll come to no surprise, right? I mean, after the goal, Stanford doesn't want to let Florida State, probably doesn't want to let Florida State pick up the ball and take it back.
Right.
And then Dudley, oh boy, just an arm bar into the back of Evans. Here's what doesn't make sense in college soccer about why you want to pick the ball up and take it back to the center line. The clock stops on a goal. This isn't professional soccer where a team might waste some extra time by preventing you from restarting. In college soccer, the clock stops.
Correct.
And so coaches need to tell their teams, hey, you don't need to go pick the ball up and take it to midfield. No one's wasting time. It's already a dead ball. Clock has stopped.
That's a great point. I think sometimes maybe if you're in international play like some of these players are, I think sometimes that can get confusing. Nonetheless, it's a really good point. I think if you're Jordynn Dudley, maybe her defense would be, I want to keep that momentum going. I want to just keep this energy up because now it stops play and there's a huge holdup. So goal does count. And obviously the talking to of both head coaches, our head official saying these two need to cut it out, get control.
It'll be a feisty final 6 minutes and 10 seconds.
And Nicole Green trying to lay things down, and her job's not done tonight by any stretch. Look, just in case there's any reminders, you got some extracurriculars outside the stadium too, so.
Man, it's feisty all over Tallahassee right now. Be careful, Trev.
No, I'm always careful.
If that doesn't encapsulate this 90 minutes, I don't know what does. 5 minutes, 45 seconds to play. Noles needed a lifeline. They got one via Jordynn Dudley. See, it's 67 games in a row. Does Florida State have one more in them? Headed down. Dudley plays it out wide into space. Pretty touch. And a corner coming. Kohler whipped it in towards that 6-yard box. You hear the Seminole crowd starting to come to life. Kohler, header! It's blocked at the line! How did that stay out? There was a number of black uniforms building a wall. Over the top, Gilchrist not able to get on the end of it.
This is a great ball by Cologne. It goes a little bit outer to the 6-yard box. Dudley gets denied right in front. I think that was Sophie Murdoch, who was the last line of defense. Evans was also there as well, so would have had to get past number 2. But what a great denial. But an excellent ball by Cologne of getting it a little more outward. Florida State has worked their way down the line on their corners tonight, Aria, and Burkle's been there to grab practically every single one.
Yeah, mistake there from Burkle. Came off her line, couldn't meet the ball. Hudson had got a glance onto it. I couldn't quite see the number there for Stanford, who got in front of the ball. There's a throw coming for the Noles.
Yeah, Murdoch right there.
That was Murdoch.
Right there in the right place at the right time. Washington fighting through some holds.
Now Now Van Zanten will recycle it back. All the way across Simmons. Simmons carries it central. Now out wide, Kohler. Dangerous with the crosses. Another good ball. Burkle, though, sure-handed that time. Hudson was crashing towards the line.
Yeah, if you're going to make a cross, if you get a corner opportunity, that ball has got to be on the 6-yard line box. That cannot be in the house for Burkle to just easily stand her ground and collect.
Kitahata tries to play it into the space. Florida State quick to get onto it. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to play. Throw in.
If you're Stanford, you're just trying to wind this clock down as fast as possible. Keep the ball on the edges. Out of bounds is your friend. Keeping it in that attacking half is your friend, but they are definitely playing 11 behind the ball.
Long ball to Kohler, cleared away.
Sammy Smith, nice work, stops the flow. This frenetic pace is exactly what Florida State likes.
Another throw coming, Cologne. Trying to engineer something there on the right side. Dudley will check two, throw goes long. Cologne. There's Suarez occupying some space in the center. Sophia Wood thought about it, played it wide. Washington. Washington, cross, deflected. Noles calls for a handball. Cologne. Plays it hard, Burkle. That'd have been off the post or in the net, but Burkle makes a big moment occur there for the Cardinal. Under 2 to play. Dudley goes down, no call again.
Oh boy, that is a big time no call. That is a big no call for there not to be a penalty kick for Jordynn Dudley. That's the second time she's gone down in the box. There will be a review.
It is reviewable.
Boy, this is a game-changing call that Nicole Green is going to come away with here after looking at this one. Dudley definitely receives the ball. For Evans, it's about how much commitment, I think, here do you go for the ball. She doesn't touch the ball, and it looks as though she definitely steps on the foot of Jordynn Dudley. I mean, letter of the law would tell me
By technicalities, it's a foul.
Technicality,
however,
for sure, foul, but for a moment like that.
Dudley did sell it immediately. But on technicality, there was contact in the box without the defender touching the ball.
It's all so tough because sometimes with the official, it's a judgment because, okay, what's the player trying to do? Are they trying to go for the ball? They're trying to dispossess, but then what you see is it's clear in front of you as well of what actually happened on the play and what is the result of that. It's just such a huge call at this stage in the game with 1:37 remaining on the clock, and you could award Florida State a golden chance. I mean, it is a clear crunch on the top of Dudley's cleat, no question about that. Brian Penske very animated right now. He may not like what's about to be ruled here. Well, Kohler is going to go right back to the monitor. He's saying, look at the big screen. He knows how important this is. He knows how important this moment is, this match is, this stage of the season is. We're just on pins and needles waiting for what's about to be ruled.
What a big moment here in this match. Still looking at it.
And just the opportunity that gets presented here is unbelievable. And Penske just went into the books. The FSU bench gets a yellow card.
So no penalty. I think Penske's saying, look at the video board. We're all watching it with you. Again, I don't think it's 100% clear penalty. And if that happens in the first half, it's a non-issue, right? You would tell the player to get up. And actually, Nicole Green's told Florida State's players a couple times to just get up after she felt like there was a bit of embellishment. But that one, when you put a magnifying glass on it, will loom large, no doubt.
A big clearance here by Stanford. Time is now their friend, but it has to tickle down as fast as it can. Keep the ball away from your own net.
60 seconds to play. Played forward. Smart. And it's kicked to the corner flag. It will take a ton of time. .30 seconds to play. Ten seconds. Final few seconds. Stanford got 2 goals in the first half, and the Cardinal come on the road to Tallahassee, and they find 3 points. A battle of giants here in the Seminole Soccer Complex goes the way of the Cardinal. 2-1 the final tonight, and the second-ranked team in the country finds their 12th